Hi, and welcome to Real Doofs. Spooky edition. Oh, Brian scared me, and I could see him. Hi, everybody. I'm Drew.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Laura.
And this is our movie podcast, and we are together in a room, and this is like olden days,
It
too.
is.
Like
Yeah.
classic. We're in my actual living room.
This is like
right
the first
now.
time I guest hosted with you.
Yes.
Was here.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You guest hosted here with Dirty Dancing.
I was sitting
You were
right
sitting
there.
in
And that
it was a different recliner.
different recliner, but right
But
there.
it was
yeah.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I remember being very nervous, and I
Actually-
had my little note
Yeah.
paper, and I was like sweaty. Yeah.
still our most listened to episode. So your sweating was there to last. It made an
I'm
impression.
not sweating now. I'm just letting
Yeah.
you guys know.
Yeah.
I never stopped sweating. That's my secret.
That's fair. But no, lots changed around here too, like the setup and everything. So I'm excited to have you both back. We were supposed to do this outdoors. That was kind of our plan.
Yeah.
And then it got cold.
Yeah.
And
Cold, and
Yeah.
we are starting this one at 9:45
Yes.
p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think it's probably like 40 degrees outside at the
By
moment,
now,
probably.
yeah, so-
Yeah.
so
So
we're
breaking the tradition of our Halloween movies.
Yeah, I mean,
Slightly.
we've only
but-
been doing outdoors since we've been at Brian's house doing them.
yeah.
so-
Always in person, just.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. So even I think our first time at Brian's house was indoors too, in your office. We watched Night of the Living
Yeah.
Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I've now sold that house as of this weekend.
congratulations.
I know.
And the that night that we recorded for the first time is when you spilled pasta sauce on
Yes,
your brand new
I-
rug.
Yes, I did.
You're never gonna live
Yep.
that down.
No, I was thoroughly embarrassed. And I was really saddened about it because
But
it was.
I sent you a
literally-
picture. You could never tell.
Yeah, it was literally like Brian's like what second day.
I think
in the
all I
house?
set up was my desk so that way we could
Yeah.
record the podcast.
Yeah, you literally like you bought the house, you went to Florida, and then California,
Yeah, California.
and then you came back and like you were like, I just need one day, and then we can record. And it was like the next day, and I was like balancing like a calzone on my leg in a pizza box, and I thought I could cut it,
Oh, no.
and everything just went on the floor, and I was like, oh no, and Brian was just like,
What color? I know you
Um,
sent a picture, but what color was the rug? It
like
was
white
light.
and black.
It was
white and
light.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was light, but it came right out.
I was so
I love that.
mortified.
You christened the house. It's
Yeah.
I did.
It
yeah.
was a well-loved house.
Yeah.
So
Brian helped me with my house and like helped put up things on the wall for me. Helped put my
You're
first
like, "Here's
TV
some
up, and
fucking
here's
pasta
and I was
sauce."
like, "Here's your gift."
I was hoping because I invited you, both of you, over for like the last day in the house, and I was hoping that Drew would come with pasta sauce to like one last time, dump some on the, pour one out,
like a little
the house.
champagne. Yeah, like
yeah.
no, like here's to
Um,
you, house.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Oh man,
But,
we are off track, and
yes.
solely
So off
because
track.
Yes.
like
We haven't been together in a little bit.
yeah, this is
so-
the first time we've recorded in
a
like a
lot of
month and a
life has
half,
happened.
2
Yeah.
months,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
something like that.
It's been a bit. So, yeah, we've been catching up for a while too, but it's nice. And yeah, so it's our Halloween episode though. So
Mhm.
Brian has
Time
a lot
to
of,
scare
yeah.
the shit out of Brian.
Brian
Yeah.
has a lot of work to do because we're recording it, and then he's got like a week to
Yeah.
put it out.
Mhm.
So that's always
It'll
my
be fine.
favorite. My favorite's always just giving Brian like the least amount of time. To do
You know
this.
what? He just sold his house and moving. He doesn't have
Yeah.
anything else going on
Yeah,
at
he's
all.
just like, no, I can get it out in time. He's like, I can do it. Yeah, I'll do
it'll
it.
be fine. This
Yeah.
one will be the
Mhm.
in-person ones for whatever reason for me feel a little easier to put together.
Yeah,
don't know
that's
why.
Fair. That's fair. So Laura,
Yeah.
you are the one who's in charge of this particular episode,
I am.
and I'm okay with
I
that.
won again. I think this is
Okay,
like
good.
3
Yeah,
years
yeah.
in a row that.
Yeah, I'm
Nothing has won.
I'm okay with that.
I give
I'm
it to
okay.
you next year, Drew. You can pick whatever you want.
We're gonna
Um,
fucking get Brian so bad next year too.
What's your? Let's do this movie
Nope.
first.
I was like, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted to watch this, it's because it is a classic Halloween
Mhm.
horror movie. So this year for Halloween, we are watching Halloween.
Mm.
1978 horror thriller slasher. It's actually an independent slasher
Okay.
film. Yeah, rated R, which I feel like for that time,
Yeah,
kind of
You had to.
You had to. Yeah. My question is, like, rated R, are we going to see boobs? Are we going to see dick? I don't know. How many? How many times? Is it like a Jackass? Like,
interesting.
Or is it just the murders?
Are we guessing now?
That's my first question, right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
How many boobs are you seeing?
I think at least 3.
Wait, pairs or
3 individual breasts?
Okay. No, yeah, I mean,
like, does one person only have one, right. Or like you only get one covered? Yeah. Okay.
You might actually be right on that, but I'm gonna say 2 people.
Two people. 2 pairs?
Yes.
So 4.
You're literally marking this down.
I'm writing numbers.
I mean, there's 2 people in my guess too.
Yes.
So you have 2 people.
One person with 3.
2 people.
Well,
3 movies.
You're right. We're not watching Total Recall.
Okay, Brian. 2 people, 3 boobs. Drew, 2 people, 4 boobs.
Yes.
I don't know why I started us off without zero background to this movie and went right either. For that. I have no idea.
So far, our guesses sound like my 14-year-old Google searches.
3 boobs, 2 people.
I think because I don't know, we normally never say the rating, and I don't know why I said it, so it just led me to that question.
You're literally like 1978 rated R, so you know it's gonna be,
there's gotta be something like something I don't know.
The boobs and the penis.
Well, there wasn't PG-13 then, wasn't
correct,
there? So
it
was like
PG-13, and you said 78, and we had in 75 Jaws came out, and that was PG.
Yeah,
and
wow.
that had people being like, we saw like an arm float to the bottom.
So then it's got to be more than just the slashing,
right? There's got to be some extra in there. You would assume, yeah.
Getting back on track to more normally how we
this
flow with
about?
This. No, so first I'll just say directed and scored by John Carpenter.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was actually, do you remember some? I think one movie you watched was a John Carpenter movie.
The Thing.
Was it
Things?
Yeah, The Thing. Yeah.
That was like a weird soundtrack because it was just like
very like
noise,
synthesized to like
yeah,
like that kind of thing.
Do you know this movie? Like, do you have a theme song in your head that you can think of for this movie? It's
I know I'm gonna know it when I hear it.
Yeah, but you can't think of it like off the top
No,
of
it's
your
like a piano. It's like a high piano.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the like,
but it's like a theme song that when you hear, you're like, this is John Williams quality, like early.
Yeah,
John Williams,
it's like fast. It's like a
we're not gonna do it.
Yeah,
it's very close.
Very close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very close.
Okay, so you're familiar with John Carpenter. It was actually advertised as John Carpenter's Halloween, and it probably still is known as that. I think.
Yeah.
I keep trying to think of it, and I can only keep thinking of the Linkin Park song. What I've done.
So close. Yes, the opening thing of that. Yes, the opening. Yeah.
What I've done.
The opening of that starts off with that. It's so familiar. John Carpenter could probably have sued them and been like,
I don't think I know that song, so I'll have to listen to it. Yeah. Huh.
Sorry, we're just.
Now we have to listen
to
it.
Not the whole thing, just the opening.
While you're pulling that up, so he co-wrote and produced this with his then girlfriend Deborah Hill.
Wait, I'm sorry. So we got distracted. John Carpenter did the music, or he was the director?
Directed and scored.
Both.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
yes.
That doesn't happen a lot. I feel like.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and him and Deborah Hill did 4 films together. Do you have that song pulled up?
I do.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
it's just, you know what I mean? It just
100%. Oh,
right? It's very familiar.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Yes. And then it gets like, anyway.
I've definitely heard that song before too, and I don't know how I never put that together. That's weird.
Yeah. It's very, very close to that. So close.
And then cinematography was Dean Cundy, but he's worked a lot with John Carpenter, Steven Spielberg, and Robert Zemeckis. Cool. So he Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jurassic Park, and Apollo 13. So that's the background of the movie. Do you have a question, Drew?
I was just gonna say, you had mentioned it was independent. So is this like a lot of their? Is this like kind of their earlier, like his specifically earlier work too?
I think so. Yeah, it just said American independent slasher film.
Interesting.
This is kind of one of the first slasher films that kind of really set the scene for future
well, yeah,
slasher
definitely.
movies. So there wasn't really too much before this.
I mean, there was no Friday the 13th. This was before Friday the 13th, before Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
Though I can't remember if Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that was a 70s horror film too. That might have been around the same time. But still, like you were saying though, this definitely, it's how like Westerns used to be like clean cut, and then the Wild Bunch came out and it was like an R-rated Western and you didn't do that. You didn't shoot people and have like squibs explode and people were like, what are you doing? That's changing the genre. And they're like, we are changing the rules, bitch. And like, that's how then you started getting more violence and that stuff. And this is definitely a highlight of that, where the violence is shown more in this genre.
So going to our usual questions, and Drew, I'm just assuming we didn't actually say this. You've seen this movie many times,
but I have not seen it in a while. So I know the plots, I know the details, but I don't know. You might have questions in there that I might specifically be like, I don't know that right now, but I'm not going to answer the big stuff.
So we'll let Brian kick it off. In general, do you have any idea of what this movie is about or what you think it is about?
I have no clue. It's you mentioned the other two movies that I was thinking about, just like on my way here. I was like, do I know anything about this movie? And I was like, it's in the same like bucket as Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street for me. I think I know that Nightmare on Elm Street is the guy with the striped sweater and the claws.
Yep, Freddy Krueger.
Yep. And I think it was this one and the other one that I was trying to figure out. One of them is a hockey mask guy. Yeah. And the other one, Jason, and I don't think that's this movie. I think this movie's the guy with like the ugly white mask and like hair.
There is hair.
Yeah, there is hair.
And hair.
Yes.
He's got hair and a white mask. And I think the only other thing I know is that the mask is I've seen the movie fact on this, that the mask is a William Shatner mask painted white, I think.
Yep. You are correct in that. Yes. Yep. Yeah. They said it was like stretched out and like manipulated a little bit, but definitely they just got it at like a store.
Yeah. Which is rad. I love that.
I know, right? Like that. And then they made a joke about that in Baby Driver. Did you see that Edgar Wright movie?
No.
Wow. I thought you may have gone that route or not, but they were like, do you know the character's name? It's his name.
I didn't have that question down. That's a good question.
Oh, I actually do, I think. Or it's the actor. Well, Mike Myers?
So, yes, and this is the joke from Baby Driver, is that they said they were going to do a heist in the movie, and he's like, get a Mike Myers mask. And the two guys come up with Austin Powers. He's like, what is that? He's like, you said get Mike Myers. You know, he's like, Halloween. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
That's really
Mike
funny.
Myers is the name of the guy, the character in the movie.
But it's not Austin Powers.
It's not
Groovy baby.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Shrek.
Yes,
right. Yeah, not Shrek.
Donkey.
Donkey.
I just had there's probably some like fanfic of Shrek out there being 100%. Like a serial killer or something.
Definitely.
Still horny though.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Okay. Do you have thoughts on where and when this takes place?
I think it takes place at the time it came out. I think it's a 70s film. I don't think it's a period piece.
Or future.
Or I don't think it's future either.
A future slasher movie. Does that exist?
That'd be cool.
Oh, wow.
Jason 10 was Jason in
Jason
Space.
10. Oh my god. Okay.
Jason X was
doesn't count.
Jason in Space. And they did a Leprechaun in Space too. Not Leprechaun in Space also, but or also, not part 2. Yeah.
Anyways.
Warwick Davis was Leprechaun, and he was in space.
Warwick Davis was Leprechaun?
And
all of them are just in the space one?
Yeah. I love it's like Fast and Furious. Like you get to a certain number of films and you just go to space. Like that's the next step.
It would be wild if they were like, all right, Fast and Furious 11 is actually Tokyo Drift 2. So it's Fast and Furious 11, Tokyo Drift 2.
Oh, don't confuse me anymore.
Right. Where do you think this takes place? Like city, suburbia?
I think it's suburbia.
Okay.
I don't know if it will give us a specific like location, but it feels like a New Jersey, a Pennsylvania, not like a big city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upstate New York.
I don't know why.
Texas.
Again, I don't think so either.
I just want to go through all 50 states.
I feel like it's Illinois.
Illinois.
Okay.
I feel like it's Illinois.
Okay.
Not Chicago, like it's a suburban, like area, but I feel like it's Illinois.
Like Schaumburg.
I don't know. Sure.
Okay, so we talked about how many boobs we think we're going to see. How many deaths do you think we're going to see? Or maybe not even see, but like how many deaths happen in this movie with it being a slasher film? Not to sway you in either way of low or high, but
I think 6.
okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can't see my notes.
No, I can't.
No cheating allowed. Do you actually remember who
Nope.
dies in this movie? Drew's counting like he's going through the movie in his head of like, okay, this person dies and then this
I think
person
there's
dies.
8.
Okay.
Yeah.
With including off camera.
Including off camera?
Yeah.
I'm still going with 6. I'm
Yeah.
going with a solid cast of friends 6.
I didn't really do that in deep dive of a Google search, so it could be off camera. It could be what we see. We're just you know that I've done that before. I've made you guess things, and then I'd be like, wait a second. That was not correct.
Inaccurate.
We like specifics.
I want to know what some of the like horror movie tropes you think we may see in this movie are. Like, what are you expecting to see?
I think a group of people are gonna split up.
They always do.
I think someone's gonna be running, and I think this guy's gonna be walking, like chasing them. And I think they're gonna like trip and get like caught on like a root or a vine or something. And he's just gonna be like slowly catching up to them as they're like fumbling to like get free.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Definitely.
That's a good one.
Do you think this takes place on Halloween?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I
if
think
it
so.
didn't?
It'd be pretty wild. It's like this one's Easter.
I love that.
Do you think it's like over a period of time or just this one day?
I think it's like I think this serial killer only does a murder on Halloween.
Oh, that's interesting.
So and not a murder, not like one murder, but like does murdering.
Does murders.
It's
Does
like
murders.
his personal purge happens on Halloween.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna get one right off the bat, and then it's gonna cut to like a year later.
Halloween
Oh, okay.
night, 1979.
Oh.
Yeah, and then it will cut to like 2 days before the next Halloween, and people are
You sure you haven't seen this movie, Brian?
hunting people. I think we're gonna do that like twice though, because I think it will happen. And then we'll cut to like the next year, and they're like, "Oh, remember what happened a year ago? That's such a bummer about Stacy." And then like another murder happens, and like shit, this is just gonna happen every year. So then they're gonna be like investigating all year, and it's gonna come up, and they're gonna have like a plan to catch him, but he's gonna foil it and murder them.
I love it. Well, I mean, I don't love it that people are dying, but you know.
No, Brian's got a good thought. I don't. There's like I know what the tropes are and the things.
Yeah.
So I don't want to guess any because there's some classic stuff in here like that you just know is when you see it, you're just gonna be like, well, this is gonna happen. Like that kind of stuff will happen.
And there's some things that I'll talk about after the movie too, of things that kind of inspired every future horror movie, or kind of based from this. So we can talk more about that after.
Like Jason's teleportation,
going to
Friday
space.
13th.
Yeah,
No. Like I don't know if they do this as crazy as Jason like in Friday 13th movies do, but like in a Friday 13th movie, like a classic one, like from anywhere from the 80s and 90s, Jason's behind you walking and you're running, and then all of a sudden he's just in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're like running in the woods, right? Like,
yeah.
And you're like, he's behind me.
It's kind of like The Walking Dead with the zombies, where you're like, just run. Like they can't freaking
but
walk
they run
fast.
away. But like in a Jason movie, you're looking behind you and you look forward, and all of a sudden you just get gutted with like a machete, and you're like, how did he get in front of you? Were you truly just running in circles? Like, what happened? So, like, I think that there's that sort of, like...
Yeah. He'll just be there.
He's there. Yeah, but you're like, I just saw him over there. Like, that sort of thing. I can't remember if that's something that happens in this, but...
Ooh, I think he'll be in the backseat of someone's car.
I like that.
Oh. Yeah.
Ooh, I think teens are going to be making out in a car. And he's going to kill some teens.
That's what I was going to ask, like... Is he killing mostly?
That's where we're gonna see one one boob.
The one
boob.
Okay. And my last question that I have for you. I don't know how familiar you are with the Real Housewives franchise.
I can't wait for this connection.
But there is somebody from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that is in this movie. If you don't know any people from Real Housewives, I won't make you guess.
Person. Okay. This is not
Lee Curtis.
Oh wait, she does end up on Real Housewives because of this connection. She was just on the last season, not as like a housewife, but they go to like her event because of this connection. They're like still friends.
That's so crazy.
I thought Real Housewives was like a reality show.
It is. So she was like.
So Jamie Lee Curtis is actually friends with this actor who's in
that
the film.
Was in the film.
Who is on Real Housewives.
Yeah.
And in the show, they go to an event of hers.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you guys definitely won't know that. I'll point her out when you see her. Okay. But yeah, that was kind of all the questions that I have. Do you have any other questions, Drew? Have seen the movie?
How old do you think Michael Myers is?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know. Do they say that in the movie?
I just saw a meme where they like discussed what his age is.
Like young, old, I guess. Yeah. Give like
a.
Wait. First off, is Michael Myers? Who is Michael Myers in this whole thing?
He's the guy with the William Shatner mask.
Okay,
but like, why is
he? He
just hates Halloween.
So he's Michael Myers is the bad guy.
He's the bad guy. He does murders.
Okay, he does murders. He's not just misunderstood because he's wearing a mask and other people think that he's murdering, but someone else is murdering.
He's like just trying to help, and they like accidentally trip and fall on the knife, and he's like, "No."
Well, like they're like, "It's him. He's wearing a mask," and then like they turn around, someone stabs them. Like, or is it actually Mike Myers?
Oh, I didn't consider that until just now.
I don't think you should.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's considered that before.
I don't think that's what it is, but I do kind of want to write that script.
Yeah, right. They're off topic again. There's a actual horror comedy about that exact thing, about misunderstood killers, like these group of teens wander in the woods and accidentally keep dying in front of this group of these two like hillbillies. It's called Tucker and Dale.
Oh, that's such a funny movie. Yeah, it's really good.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah,
where you assume Tucker and Dale are the hillbillies that are murdering these kids, but literally they're like the kids are running away from them, tripping and falling on an axe.
Yeah, okay.
That sort of thing. So, like, is that a Mike Myers situation?
Yeah.
Or
no,
Mike
I think
Myers
he's doing
it.
I think he's doing murders. Okay. I think he hates Halloween.
That's a good point.
Big fan of Christmas.
That might be it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he didn't get enough candy as a kid and got bullied by the other kids.
Yeah. Or maybe he didn't see enough boobs.
He got all his candy stolen as a kid.
Yeah. And he has to take it out on boobs.
On boobs. I think there is a thing with horror films where the villain in a slasher film is typically like there is a justification. Like there's a, whether it's right or not, there's like a horror films are generally centered on like punishing people for something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they've committed a sin.
Right.
And so the sin that the people are committing there's got to be a logic to why he's doing the murder.
Freddy Krueger, right? He was a child molester, but still he was burned. The parents burned him alive.
Yeah.
And then he comes back in their kids' dreams, attacking the kids.
Yeah, can't blame him for it.
Right. But then, like, Jason, he drowned in Camp Crystal Lake because the lifeguards were fooling around and not watching. So he comes back. Somehow he drowned as a child, but comes back as a hunky, like, thick boy, but like, and an adult.
The beefcake that never was.
Yeah, but still, wild shit.
Yeah. So I don't know what Mike Myers' deal is, but there will be some sin.
There's a reason
that he's punishing people for.
Okay.
Hell's yeah. Yeah, I love it.
All right. That's it. Any other final thoughts?
A pumpkin will get smashed at some point.
Okay.
A pumpkin smashing. Okay.
Sweet.
And that's it. That's my last guess.
Well, then let's watch.
I was trying to think of something
Halloween.
clever.
Yeah.
I got
Let's
it.
Show me one boob.
I honestly don't know how many you see in here, so we're finding out together. Go on this adventure together.
This boob adventure.
I love these captions. Woman whines.
This always reminds me of Jaws, where like
The
there's
mayor.
like the mayor being like, "We don't have a problem here,"
Yeah.
and then this guy's like, "We got a problem," and no one's listening to him. There is a funny part, I think it's coming up, where you see him driving, like, there's people talking, you can see him driving behind them, and he's at a stop sign, and you can see him, like, look both ways, and they're like, good job, Michael Myers didn't want to get in a car accident.
I'm surprised no one's, like, seeing him in this mask and being like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like damn kids at your Halloween.
Well,
yeah, I guess
it was
it's
the night
true.
before Halloween, so...
I like that exposition too. They know where everyone lives, and she was literally like, "I'm doing the Doyles. They're only 3 houses down." Like, yeah, no shit. I know that, you fucking idiot. We've all babysitted the fucking Doyle kid. He shits himself. We get it.
They gotta make sure we know.
Exactly. That's the exposition.
Oh, this is where he looks both ways. You'll see
Yeah.
him in the background. It's like when they're talking.
He goes, "Okay, and I think I can go." Safety first for Mike. Always safety first.
I just saw it on TikTok maybe like 2 days ago. Someone zoomed in. And they're like, "This is so funny."
I love it.
I mean, it was probably practical, right? Like, he was there was just, like,
There was
a guy
actually
in the
traffic
car.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Like, they didn't have money to stop traffic.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. It probably was like actual traffic.
Yeah.
Boy, this traffic is murder. How do you get gas? Wasn't it like 150 miles from the...
Yeah.
There's no way that car had enough gas to get to this town. And he's just driving around all day?
He's got no money.
I mean, the mechanic might have had money.
That's
true.
maybe he
And gas.
robbed them
Maybe he
too.
sucked it out of the tank.
Siphoned it.
What could have been a skunk?
Does that
The
count
dog?
as a-
It's
what is
funny,
he-
I smelled a skunk in my daughter's car earlier.
I still don't, like, he's like, it's a dog, and he's like, he got hungry. Well, it could have been a skunk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
a
what does that
fucking
even mean?
skunks
What
do
does
that?
even mean?
You've ever seen a golden retriever skunk?
Yeah, did a skunk kill the dog, or is the
Yeah.
dog a skunk?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it was a small dog. Or a skunk.
I thought he was saying a skunk killed the dog.
That's what
I thought he was saying that maybe it's a skunk and not a dog.
that's what I thought.
But it could be either way. I don't know.
I think something bad happened to him when his sister was supposed to be babysitting him. And so he's targeting bad babysitters.
Okay. That, in all honesty, probably makes more sense than what's actually happening.
Okay.
You don't even. I don't think you get an answer in this movie.
In this one, no.
No.
It's the second one, right?
Which is so wild. Oh, you may right at the very end. I'm not.
I don't think so.
I can't. I don't think
No,
you
I think
do.
it's the very beginning of the second one.
But this was initially meant to be a standalone movie. Like, they never was supposed to be a franchise.
Right.
So,
because don't you have the info about like how he didn't want to shoot the end scene the way it is in here?
No. Well, let's talk about that.
Wait, yeah.
No.
Can we get maybe a single? Yeah. Side single?
That might count.
I don't know, Brian. Does that count?
I think it's when you see Nip.
Oh.
You gotta see the nip.
Wait, we really might see 3 boobs. That's great. 2 bodies, 3 boobs.
The highlight of this classic film.
I wish we were a podcast that did like titles that weren't the movie. Because this one would be 2 bodies, 3 boobs.
All right, so that was Halloween. What are your initial thoughts? We'll start with Brian.
I think I liked it. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I actually think like the last scene creeped me out more than because it's like the possibility of being scared. So like all these empty spots where he was, and then he's just like out there somewhere.
And that heavy breathing.
And the heavy breathing over it, like that with the music that you've heard the whole time, is kind of like more creepy than anything else. But the actual movie was just like a little slow. Like he's slow, so like there was no jump scares really for me, and nothing like psychologically like that scary.
Yeah,
but yeah, like in comparison to some of the other like horror movies that we've watched for Halloween.
I think it is one of those ones because it is an older like classic Halloween movie. So for me growing up watching it, probably the first time I watched it, I was probably like 8 years old. So like
this would be terrifying.
Scared the crap out of me.
Don't get me wrong, it's still spooky.
But like seeing it for the first time now, I can see how it's like not that.
Yeah.
We also scary. Like in our own defense make jokes out of everything to ease the edge a little bit.
Yeah.
If you were watching that home by yourself in the dark, it might be a little bit
more. Brian wouldn't be watching it alone by himself in the dark. That's where we know if that came through.
Well, even I was texting Drew the other night because I usually watch these like before pre-watch them to like do research and like think of things during the movie, and I was watching it by myself and I'm like, this kind of like the I think it's the music really is creepy, and I don't know, maybe it's because I just associate it with this, but
Laura was like, if we can, we should really try to watch it outside
because it's so like I don't know, the music just gives you like
if it's just cold enough and this and it would that would
it's a spooky one.
We'd have to lock the screened-in porch. Just lock it up and also like my woods, there's always like squirrels or animals like you can hear them crunching around out there.
Yeah.
So we'd be watching. Yeah, but
did you enjoy watching again, even though you've seen it? Before.
Yeah, it was. It's a great one. It's again, as I get older, as movies become more complex and storylines.
Yeah, I think that's it too.
Scary. You know, the way that we can see scares. I find humor in these movies more. I laugh at things more. Like again, that when this came out, you would scream at, but like when like he jumps on the car, I'm like, that's goofy. And then she hears someone crawling on the car, and the first thing she thinks to do is let me roll down the window
and be like, hey, what you doing over there?
Just a little stuff like that. But and also, Mike's driving around all day in his fucking mask. And no one
thinks anything of that.
That's weird.
Yeah. But, in like a small town where you probably know everybody.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't know. Seems strange.
Yeah,
it does, and it's fine. It's good, and it's classic. It's funny. They don't So Laura was saying that, like, in this movie, they didn't explain
No.
Yeah, really anything.
why and what is the reasoning in the sequel.
So I think in this sequel, it turns out that Michael Myers and Laurie are half brother sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But originally, so this movie, it did turn in, I think there's 13 movies now in the franchise of Halloween. It was never intended to be like that. And the Halloween movies do not follow any sort of chronological timeline. The storylines are all over the place.
Oh my
There
God.
are like certain movies that you can like piece together in timelines, but then there's some that are completely just on their own. There's
Well.
the newer ones, like there's my favorite one is Halloween H2O. I don't know if you have an
H2O.
so it was
It's like
2000 or was it 20th
2000 or was
anniversary?
it- I think it came out 20 years later. I think
Or maybe it was
98.
20 years later. So in that movie,
think.
her son is Josh Hartnett.
Of course.
And then in some of the more recent ones, she has a daughter,
Daughter instead of
and
a
there's
son.
no son. Like, so it's
Weird.
just completely like all over the place, no consistency.
Is it Jamie Lee Curtis in all of them?
No.
In
She's in
in most
several
of
of
them?
them.
but then yeah, there's like Halloween
98.
1 through 5, and I don't think she's in like
Halloween
2, 3, 4, 4,
5.
5.
20 years later.
20
is
years
literally the title.
that one has
Halloween
like Michelle Williams. I think
Yes. Harshnett.
Gordon Levitt's in it.
Oh, really?
Or no,
LL Cool J, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
yeah.
Um,
It's one of the better ones. But so talking about when I said in this movie, like he gets shot, he gets stabbed, and he doesn't die. In that one, his head gets cut off,
and he doesn't die.
and there continues to be more movies after that.
Wow.
So
Yeah. The third Halloween is actually arguably a really decent one, but it has nothing to do with Mike Myers. It's just Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
yeah,
And it's about, like, witches. And it does not fit into the Halloween franchise, but it's actually a decent movie on its own. When you think of it as a Halloween movie, it makes
Yeah.
no sense.
and then there were the Rob Zombie
The Rob Zombie
remakes
crap. I mean,
of it. Yeah,
which are
those weren't
interesting
good.
because those are from Michael Myers' perspective.
Oh.
More so it follows Mike around, so it's like a remake of this first movie, but it's more following Michael around than Laurie.
Interesting.
So you see him kill a lot more people in that.
And even though in the second one it comes out that like they're related, he still really has no motive other than he really is just evil, and a lot of it is like sexually motivated. Is like a lot of what people say. It's
Yeah.
like he's like into like voyeurism, and he likes to watch people, and then he just kills them.
And then it gets
like,
him mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, I like this. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, the very last one that they just came out with, was that last year, 2 years ago, maybe? Which I think they they said like this is the
I
final
believe
one.
that's the title. Halloween Ends.
That was the worst horror movie I have ever watched in my entire life.
That's the one that they brought her back for, right?
She was in that. She's been in the last like few. She was in Halloween H2O. She was
Okay.
in
Right, but she was
Resurrection.
brought back for all of the
Newer
three new
ones, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she came back for those.
And Kyle Richards was actually in it. The little girl that
yeah?
played Lindsay. Yeah, she's been in the new ones.
And then she'd sporadically kind of joined through. So she's in 1 and 2, and then comes back for.
It might not be
H2O.
into H2O and then
then
Resurrection.
Resurrection?
And then, yeah, then they keep going.
Yeah.
Not the Rob Zombie ones.
Not the Rob Zombie one.
But anyways, in this very last one, she finally kills Mike Myers. And they strap him to the roof of her car. And then they drive him through town. And
Oh,
the
yeah,
whole town, it's like a parade, and he's just strapped to the roof. It's the most insane ending of a horror movie that I've ever seen.
It's
In that-
bizarre.
I literally was watching it with my mouth open going, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, and that one, like, the town just there. Like, the first
Oh,
one.
and they put him in like a garbage disposal thing, don't they?
I think so.
They
yeah.
like grind him up.
So, like, in the first one of the new ones, it's like he comes back and she's been waiting for it because she knows he comes back, so she's kind of now like
She's
a
ready.
doomsday prepper sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
ready. And then the second one, he comes back again, and then by the third one, the town's like, "Fuck this shit. You know what?
Every fucking year with this bullshit.
You know, attack on one of us is attack on all of us. And they band together, and it's
they put him through the like industrial like garbage crusher.
Yeah, they
after strapping him. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
And you know the crazy thing about the new movies is that it's what's his name? The writer. So the guy who directs it. I gotta get his name here. The guy who directs them, he directed like I think he just did that really bad Exorcist movie that just came out.
Oh,
but he's actually not a terrible director. But what I find even more interesting here, Halloween. Here we go. Let's go with this one. What's his name? David Gordon Green. Okay. So David Gordon Green's the director of the more recent 3. And he's done some weird stuff. He does a lot of see if I can find something here that you may have heard of. Halloween Kills. He actually he was a producer on Mythic Quest, the show, but he got his start doing like these really off the cuff, like very artsy, like movies, and he's really good friends with the person who co-wrote this movie is, let me see if I can grab his name because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Danny McBride.
Oh,
like
okay.
Like
okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah,
like weird and funny, like, but like, yeah. Danny McBride is like the co-writer of those Halloween movies.
Weird.
Really weird.
Very weird.
Okay.
Makes
more sense now.
Yeah.
A little more sense.
Yeah. But anyway.
Wait, so
back to this original masterpiece.
But we were trying to say, like, or I was saying earlier that it did it's considered one of the most influential like horror movies, like really kicking off the slasher horror films. And seeing a lot of those tropes that you see in other horror movies. And this one, they were really, I was reading that it really started that, like, final girl
I was just going to say,
trope.
Laurie Strode, the first final girl
of, like, the last one to survive. She's the more, like, innocent one. And then it also started the, like, if you drink and do drugs and you're, like, sexually, like, why can't I say that? Yeah. Like, you're going to be the one that gets killed.
Yeah. Did you even see how Laurie held her joint?
She didn't know what she was doing.
She was doubling it.
She was choking. She didn't know what she was doing.
She's not used to it. No. She's a good girl.
It was a pretty successful film. It grossed $70 million on a budget of $300,000.
Jesus, that's a smash.
And it's still the third most successful slasher release behind Scream and Scream 2, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They filmed it really quick, 20 days.
It sounds about right.
Yeah. In over 4 weeks.
Seems
20
wild.
Days.
20 days.
He wrote the screenplay in 10 days, I think it said.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not a lot of great dialogue in this movie at all.
No, there's not.
I was going to ask your favorite part. I don't even know if I have a favorite part in this movie.
I mean, it was going to be when we got 3 boobs, but, then we got 4, and then it was my least favorite part.
I think I have least favorite. Most of these people I hate. No, like Annie, I hate her character. She sucks.
Yeah, she sucks.
So much.
Annie sucks.
She did suck, yeah.
The other one kind of sucks too. What's her name? Linda. She kind of sucks.
Linda.
She said totally too many times.
Yeah, there was definitely like a middle-aged man writing the dialogue of like, this is what teen girls sound like, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite part of this movie.
Honestly, like, I think even like the doctor sucks, the sheriff sucks.
There's no
Laurie's
redeeming.
kind of sucks.
There's no redeeming characters.
Everyone sort of sucks. But
Do we like Michael Myers
I
the
think
best?
Mike Myers is the unsung hero of this. He's like, this whole town sucks, and I need to murder. I need to like take care of it. And that's kind of like, and he is like hated on for that. And I don't like that.
You know what?
A couple murders.
Yeah, just a couple.
I think it's fine if we have a movie that we don't have a favorite part of. It just is what it is.
I'm trying to think if there was like.
It's weird in a horror movie,
To
for me especially, to have a favorite part, but also like in a slasher film, like it's like I really like the part when that guy hung off the knife on the wall.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this movie is actually is more of a comical moment. Mike Myers, the entirety of this movie, has hidden behind his mask, and he has not been afraid to be seen, but like he knows how to move away.
Yeah.
And then just at one scene, he goes, "I'm gonna be a spooky ghost."
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I don't,
Like
that is really funny, actually. I never thought of that.
like
with the guy's glasses on over it too.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part of the movie.
Which is interesting because I don't understand his psyche to the point where he's like seems completely emotionless, other than like his rule set that he's following of like have to murder people who fit into this description. But I'm gonna pretend to be your boyfriend wearing a like he's playing pretend, and that doesn't seem like
still
something
like
that he's
a kid,
capable
though.
of doing.
But like
yeah,
if you think about if he he probably stopped aging of the time that he like mentally when he like committed that first murder.
I just wonder if like John Carpenter was just like he was writing it and he was just like, and then he opens the door. He's done this so many times. How can we spice it up?
The fact that he has
like,
the glasses on, I think it's
throw
funny.
a sheet on him.
Yeah.
Have him cut eye holes out because it's Halloween. He dresses up in a Halloween costume because that's the last thing he did as a child. Oh, it's brilliant. Let's do that. And then like, you know, what'd be funny? Put the boyfriend's glasses on. Over the sheets.
I feel like that
Over the
scene's
sheets.
been done many times in pop culture. Like, I can.
You know, there's actually a movie called A Ghost Story that is literally Casey Affleck is a ghost, and in the entirety of the film, you don't see him. He is under a sheet with the eye holes cut out.
it's actually a pretty good movie. I borrowed it from you.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it.
Like mind-bending movie.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
Like-
really slow. It's
It
a
is.
slow watch. You have to be in the mood for it.
But it's like contemplates time and space
Yeah, it's
and like what a ghost
rough.
does. Yeah, it's fucking wild.
I
what a
think
ghost does.
Yeah.
maybe not.
What a
Ghost
ghost does.
wants,
What a ghost needs.
What?
It just happens to people when you're holding a microphone and you say the right thing at the right time.
I love it.
So what about our guesses? How did our guesses
Well, I was
go?
gonna say, like, I don't know that, like, I don't have a favorite scene, but like something that I like about this movie is that you see it's from like his point of view a lot of the times, and like you were saying, like that steady or not unsteady like point of view cam is like pretty cool and
It's
probably not
really-
done
It's
very
weird
often
that it's
back then.
called Steadicam. When
I
it's
was
a
thinking
shaky
that when I was
view.
saying that. It's a shaky
But
cam.
it is
It's
called
not a steady
Steadicam.
cam.
Yeah, but it is
But
a
it's-
Steadicam.
That's what it's called.
It's
Yeah.
because it's like, whoa, steady.
I think it's because they're actually wearing.
Whoa.
Well, so back in the 70s, I don't know if they actually if it was just a handheld camera and they had free movement, but Steadicam is a free like a handheld camera, and you yourself are wearing a device that actually has like
It's trying to
like
steady
a
the
pulley.
camera.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally something so that you can freely walk around without being on like a craning thing with the camera, or have it on your shoulder and move around. It keeps it steady, but still anyway. Yeah, those
No, I think-
perspective shots are interesting.
I think you got a lot of your guesses right. Like Drew, you guessed Illinois. It was Illinois, but then Brian was also kind of correct because it was based off a town in New Jersey. Took place present day 1978, but then you said that it might like flashback to when it kind of all started. That definitely happened. Only once. You said it maybe happened a couple times, but only the once. Boobs. Drew is the winner. Ding ding ding.
I was pretty sure there were
Two people,
two
four
people,
boobs.
yeah.
And we were so close
I know.
to
So close.
Brian's
So close.
three.
and I completely forgot that she does her little flash to the ghost.
Yeah. We're so
until
close.
he kicked the door open. Then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because she's just like, you like what you see, and he's just like,
she annoys me. I think it's their pigtails. Like, I don't know. I just don't like her.
It's probably because she's a 28-year-old playing
probably
17 years old.
Yeah.
17-year-old.
She also was in Carrie. She's like the plays the same kind of like bitchy high school girl in Carrie. How many deaths? The internet said 5. I don't believe that. We stopped counting though.
Well, so there was the first one, right?
The first one, and then the mechanic.
And then 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
And
Well,
then...
we won't. We'll maybe not count.
Okay,
those.
Let's count 1 dog. 1 dog we saw.
Well,
one
I
dog
mean,
we didn't see. We saw an off-camera.
Yeah, the other one could have been a
off-camera
skunk.
Right. So let's just count that 1 dog.
And
then there was Annie, Bob,
and Linda.
So 6. That's what you said. 6.
Yeah.
Well, 5 people, 2 dogs.
Well, then, okay. If we do count the skunk dog, then there's 7.
Okay.
And I had said 8, and you had said 6. So
I
right
think
in the between.
you're good.
And was there anybody else that we missed?
No, I think that was it. I thought there was a lot more, and
yeah, I thought so too.
But
he didn't.
there's not. Yeah,
he really does. He just gets his clothes and he just goes right after.
I figured it would have to be like a somewhat low number because I feel like you don't kick off a franchise like that.
Yeah,
doing 20 or that's like a movie 3.
I mean,
sort of.
I honestly haven't seen 2 through 5. I skipped right to
you never
H2.
seen 2?
Nope.
Oh, 2's good.
Nope.
Two literally. So they Laura was saying this was not intended to be a franchise.
Okay.
And I don't know why he shot the ending, because the original ending was going to be just the shot of Mike on the ground, and Donald Pleasance is just looking at it, and then he looks up, and so they basically, from what I understand, is they didn't reshoot him. He looks down, he sees Mike, and he has this epiphany, and he's kind of thinking about things, but then when he puts that music on top of it and shows the empty spaces and shows the shot of nobody there, obviously it, re-edits it, kind of makes it look a little different, but there wasn't an intention for that, and I don't know why they decided to make that ending, whether or not it was
I think it makes it more
makes it
just ominous of
definitely.
he's still gone, and I think it makes sense that they didn't have a reason why he was killing these girls. It was just he was evil, and that was what he went back to his hometown and saw them, and it was like cool. And then the second movie, they were probably like, "Oh, if we're gonna keep this going, we need to make it a reason why it's Lori." Yeah.
And part 2 is literally a continuation of the night, so it just keeps going.
I know.
So it just keeps going. Then they bringing Lori to the hospital, and Mike is like, "I'm coming to get ya." He's going after her from there. And I don't remember if Donald Pleasance is in the second one. I don't remember if he just takes off or not, because I don't think he's like a classical actor. I don't think he actually wanted to be involved in the movie. Kind of trying to think. What's his name? Alec Guinness in Star Wars was just like, why am I doing this crap? And Robert Shaw in Jaws, the Quint was just like, meh. Let's see. Halloween 2. Just trying to see if there's Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, Donald Pleasance is actually in the sequel. Okay. Yeah, while Dr. Loomis hunts for Mike Myers, a traumatized Lori is rushed to the Memorial Hospital, and the Shape is not far behind her. That's just what he's called, the Shape.
Weird.
So I guess when you're
stupid. I mean, it is weird. Why don't they just call him Michael Myers in the?
Oh, and I guess one thing we didn't
anymore. He's the
Shape.
He's a void.
Yeah. One thing I didn't say was this was her first movie, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah, because it said introducing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
I know, right?
Now she's like a scream queen.
Now she's scream queen.
Should we get the Doof meter?
Yeah.
You want to explain it?
I do want to explain it. Good old Doof meter. Our patented Doof meter is our grading system on movies. It's a 1 through 5 rating system. Grading, and with it being 1 is, it's a movie, and a 5 is.
The pause. Jeez.
How have I not seen this? Stuff like that. All right, Brian.
I thought you were just only gonna do noises for like 30 seconds.
The heavy breathing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and a 5 is a.
He does so much heavy breathing in this movie.
I know, and specifically, I love that you both make me put captions on so we can tell how much heavy.
The specific type of heavy breathing that
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yeah. And like the synth.
Yeah.
Like scary synth. Ooh, that's right. But what did you think, Brian?
I thought it was good. I actually it felt like an older movie. Like it had like the graininess that an older movie has, and it just really simple. Like it just ends. It obviously ends in like a very ominous way, but like ends in a clear enough way. Like I don't need to see more.
Yeah.
I get it. I get the idea.
Yeah.
I don't need to see
true.
the sequel. It's like, ooh, yeah, spooky. He's out there somewhere. Cool. I don't need to open that box. We're good.
He's like, me personally, I don't need to know.
Yeah, he's gonna do more murders. I get it. He'll probably get stabbed with something else. I don't know. Hard time ranking this one. I have a hard time with the horror movies in general.
Yeah.
I think this is a 3, and I think it would have been a 2.5 for me, but it is Halloween. It is like the quintessential like slasher horror movie. I feel like I picked up a lot of the plot details just from like pop culture and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's doing all the heavy lifting because I think
In the very little plot details that there are.
there's very. I think I added more, and I think I like my plot.
I said
details
many
better.
times, I was like, yours would be better than what it is. Yep.
Yeah, the dialogue's real rough. Not like it feels weird to knock it down for this because I know the point is too scary, but I didn't find it all that scary.
Yeah.
I'll be a little creeped out going to my car. Be a little creeped out going up into the apartment in the dark by myself, but that's about it. I probably won't think about it again after tonight.
Did I ever tell you?
Whereas, like, I still think about Hereditary. I was back at the house cleaning stuff out by myself tonight, and it got a little dark, and I like was turning off the lights in the basement. And I was like, "Is there something in the fucking corners?"
See, so I'm the same way. Slasher movies aren't really scary. Like, I enjoy them, but it's a different type of scary of the like psychological horror or like the spiritual ghosty horror. That's what really freaks me out more than a slasher, because I'm just like, just freaking run. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and the slasher, like, I don't know. I'm a white man in my 30s. Like, I'm not being chased down by a.
You're not a 19-year-old babysitter.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So, back in 2005. So at that point, 2005, I would have been 20, I think. Yeah.
Were you chased by a serial killer?
So, right, is that right? 85, 95, 2000. Yeah, 20. Okay, 2005. So, Halloween 2005. I was working at a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
I was managing a theater in Massachusetts. It's the one that Brian, I know you prefer to go to.
Okay.
Theater.
That has the margarita slushies.
Yes, that has margarita
I know which
slushies.
one.
I didn't know you worked at that one.
Yes, I did for 8 months.
Wow.
I started managing over there doing maternity leave for somebody. And I worked Halloween night.
Oof.
And people dressed up all the time in that theater. It was a slower night. And if you remember, now you might not remember this now, but they used to have the concession stand in the center of the theater. And we used to call that
Yes, I
battleship.
do remember that.
Yeah, it was a battleship because there were stations all around the entire thing. That was the name of that
okay.
guy. But you know how there's 2 big theaters on the right, there's a hallway down the right, and there's that one hallway down the left that usually has smaller houses in there.
Yeah.
And we saw the Gorillas one there, I think.
Yeah.
So, anywho, Halloween night, 9:50-ish, almost 10 o'clock, and all movies are playing down there. Nothing's getting out down there, and that's where I'm like, I'm going to use the restroom. I went down that hallway to the last bathrooms that are down the hall, and I'm using the restroom, and I kid you not, I finish at the urinal, and I step to go to the the sinks, and I look, and standing in, it's a long bathroom.
Yeah.
And standing right at the entrance in the middle of like the room, Mike Myers.
Wow.
Yep, guy in the full costume.
Yeah, and how can that not creep you out?
Just standing there. I to this day, I don't know who it was, but I'm 90% sure that it was an employee. That it was a joke
trying to fuck with you.
Me. Yes, because they didn't move. They just watched me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm thoroughly freaked out." So I'm just gonna scooch by you to get to the sink, and like I did, and all they did was just turn slowly.
You run out of there. I would have ran out of there.
I would have not washed my hands that night.
Nope.
I washed my hands, and I watched them the whole way, and I went around the corner, went back to the manager station, and I was like, "Are you guys fucking with me? Like, are you fucking with me?" And like they were kind of, the other two managers were a little like giggly and were like, "What are you talking about?" You know? And they went back, and of course Mike wasn't there anymore, and to this day I don't know who actually was
in the costume
in the bathroom, but
that would freak me out.
Yep.
Did you have a friend who was beefy and over 6 feet tall?
There were a couple. There were some ushers or a couple people working that could have fit that description.
Yeah.
But there were also like people used to dress up on Halloween and go to the movies.
Yeah.
It could have been just a random person messing with
And I don't think Halloween in 2005 there was a Halloween movie out. Maybe the Rob Zombie ones might have been coming out around that time. Halloween.
I don't know. I think
so. I think those were more like 2010.
Seeing anyone dressed up like that in any context, acting that way, would freak you out.
Yeah.
It freaked me out enough. Yeah.
So what would your rating, Drew, be?
Mine? That's like it's a classic movie. I don't really like go back to it often, but I remember specifics of it. I'd say 4.5.
Yeah.
I just because again, I also saw it very young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like part of the culture for us to watch this thing, and I think there's this weird thing about seeing things at like a young age where you don't understand it. You know, and only a couple things are scary, but not because of like the actual. It's more like jump scares or imagery is scary. But like now it's like laughable at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, to me, it's a classic. I remember plenty of things from the movie. Like I remember, like her lowering the window and that hand just is like, "I'm gonna get your face," and like when he jumps on the car and she's got the brakes on the car, she's parked, you know, she's got her foot on the brake, so you see his face for 1 second as he leaps and crawls on the car. You know, he's not wearing a mask yet. Those are like little details that stick out for me. Donald Pleasance just literally not being happy about anything the entire film. But it's just so simple. Like the idea of the movie is so simple.
Yeah,
it's just like guy goes home, doesn't like what he sees, gets even at babysitters. Like it's
just so interesting to think back of that time of like people going to see it in the movie theater when it first came out and how scary that was for them. Like it was such like a new genre, and like
it's even like they might have left that theater and were like, I think I'm gonna lock my doors tonight, because they did lock their doors. Yeah, you know what I mean? And like
that's so true. Yeah, you talked about that. Like you're like these doors just unlocked everywhere.
They are. They just, because that was a thing. You just didn't have to lock your doors, and now it's like, yeah, I think I should lock my doors tonight, or you know, just hey, when we're fucking, let's make sure our knives are locked for your little brother, you know, and let's not rip Lindsay's her what's her name?
What a weird line
that was.
It must have been based off his reaction later. It must have been like a mistake that they just
had
didn't
to
catch.
be.
I wonder if there's like something in the like trivia.
We're gonna have to Google that later, but But yeah, I would give it. I was gonna say 5, but I think probably no. I don't know. I think I would say 5.
I mean,
it's like a horror movie lover. I have to say a 5.
But like, do you go back to this movie?
I don't say that I watch it every Halloween. Maybe every other Halloween.
Yeah.
I do watch it pretty often. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a
For me, I think it's been
classic.
Maybe 10 years since I've
Oh,
seen
yeah,
it
no.
last.
I've definitely watched
I
it.
haven't watched it in full in a long time. Maybe longer at this point.
And it's not that like I sit down and watch it one of those movies, but like I put it on during Halloween time and like just for the vibe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. For me, first off, I don't even get to watch I don't even watch many horror movies at this time of year anyway. It's just generally I get excited to do it because it's like, let's scare Brian. That's my time to watch horror movies.
All right, should we put this
Let's
doof meter away?
put that doof meter away.
Oh wait. It was that way. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I don't think we have a game.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no game.
Tell people where to find us.
Yeah, you can you go to realjuice.com.
Is that website still active?
It is.
Okay, I got an email recently that was like,
Oh, really?
yeah, maybe it was like no, I think it just charged you $12.97 or something like that recently.
Or Joe again.
Or Joe.
Thanks,
Somebody-
Joe.
yeah,
Thanks, Joe.
Somebody got charged.
Yeah, but it's it's realjuice.com. It's updated. It's clean. It's a clean new website. But it just has links to our social media, so you can follow us if you aren't following us. We'll post to let you know when we're publishing stuff. You're hearing this hopefully just before Halloween, and we'll be putting up some stuff for the rest of the year, but we're kind of on hiatus right now. We're coming back just for this, so I'm excited to get to next year and get to some cool new movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. We'll start the year off right with Jackass 3.
Is that what we're starting the year off with?
I mean, it doesn't have to be the first one, but it should be January, February to
See some dicks.
Yeah.
My pitch is Megalopolis, which maybe we'll see dicks in that too. I don't know.
I mean, it'll be out. I think we should watch Joker 2. It'll be out.
No,
yeah.
I veto that.
It'll be out momentarily. It's actually going to be out.
Too.
It's going to be out next week on digital platforms.
You actually
Really?
want to
Yeah.
see it?
I kind of want to see both of them. They both seem so bad that it'd be worth
Well,
watching.
the funny thing is, like, I don't mind the idea of Joker 2 because I knew from the start it was going to be a musical.
See, I
Yeah.
didn't.
And everyone was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Yeah, no." They said like they literally pitched it as a musical and then started backtracking immediately because they knew
The
that-
trailer doesn't make it look like a musical
Correct.
at all.
Yes, that is movie magic.
So
trying
I
to
would be
market
mad
to-
if I went into it and then people are saying it's like 90% musical. It's
Yes,
not even
it's
like
a full blown
like-
musical.
And the guy who made the first one,
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips,
and the
who
first
making
one was
the second
so
one, right?
good.
Yes.
The first one was
However,
so good.
He was like mad that he made the first one because people were like, "Oh, the Joker's a hero. We do live in a society."
I guess it's basically the same thing that happened to Taika Waititi from with Thor 3 and Thor 4. This guy makes a brilliant first movie, but he's got rules that he had to follow.
Yeah.
And then he made a great movie and they said, "We'll give you a shitload of money to make another one and you just do whatever you want."
Yeah, we trust you.
Yeah, we trust you. And he was like, "I'm going to do something really different." And the cool thing so this is the interesting thing, Laura. I know since you're not into the superhero stuff, there's been so many shakeups in Warner Brothers involving their superhero brand DC that one of the big guys from Marvel who directed the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, he got hired to be the DC CEO. Like he is chief creative officer and chief executive officer, him and another actual movie producer. So it's a director and a producer now like who have done comic book movies are the head of DC. And they said that when they tried to talk to Todd Phillips, he ignored them. And Warner Brothers said, "Don't worry, this is not a DC movie. We're taking this." So the fact that this failed so hard actually looks good for James Gunn.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
That's why our logo wasn't on it. And they've just created what Marvel did. They created DC Studios. So there's Marvel Studios. Marvel used to just franchise their characters out to all these studios. And then they were like, we're going to take a gamble and we're going to make our own film production studio, and we'll make the movies, produce them ourselves. And if a production company like Fox, Disney, Warner Brothers wants to distribute our movies, then we'll do these deals. And then of course Disney bought Marvel and they do all the distribution, but Warner Brothers owns DC, but DC now has their own movie studio, so they're making their own movies. But this is not part of that. And like the Robert Pattinson, the Batman, it's sort of not part of it either. Like James Gunn has said, I've talked to Matt Reeves, but it's his movie. Like, so, but apparently Todd Phillips wanted nothing to do with
that's funny
anything in his movie. I was about to do a little story about this. It's going to lose $150 to $200 million.
Wow.
Yep.
Imagine failing that hard at something.
It's lower rated than The Flash on Rotten Tomatoes and lower rated than the Marvels. So
I'm so excited to see it.
Yeah,
I liked the Marvels. I thought the Marvels got a lot of crap, but it was like just a fun 80s romp.
It felt like early Marvel, like before it got too complicated.
Yeah,
like, it felt like
just simple.
Yeah, first phase Marvel, like Iron Man, you're like, hey, the villain's okay. Like the movie's fine. It's had some jokes. Like it's good.
Yeah.
Simple plot. But anyway, I don't want to keep boring Laura with superhero talk.
I'm just gonna fade this episode out of us talking about superheroes.
Just keeps going.
But
I have no clever outro for. I was trying to think of like there was no memorable quotes from that movie either.
The biggest quote was just.